Welcome to the Steelers Talk Mailbag. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and this is my favorite segment to do out of the week, guys, because I get to have that two-way conversation. I get to hear the topics that you want me to talk about here on the show. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we do it, make sure, make sure you click that subscribe button right now to join the most interactive Steelers community here on YouTube. We got over 55,000 Yinzers already subscribed. We're growing like crazy. It's all because of the support that you guys give. And if you want to get a question on a future Steelers Talk Mailbag, click that subscribe button and join us for our live shows every single Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. With that, I'll pause and open it up for questions. Atticus Mirandola, I hope I'm saying that right, Atticus, says, I see a lot of people saying the Steelers are going to get 8 or 9 wins. Is it crazy or delusional to think they'll get 10 or 11? No way. It's not. I think they could get up to as much as 13. Now, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is going to have to be really good for them to get the 13. But I think they could easily get to 11 or 12, right? They won 10 games last year with Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph. And this offseason, not only do you upgrade at quarterback, but you get Patrick Queen to be the quarterback of your defense. You lost no major players, and this team might be on the verge of getting Brandon Aiyuk. All right, so this is a team that's definitely upgraded in many key spots, and you won 10 games last year. So I think that's worth at least a game or two more in the win column. So I think anyone saying 8 or 9 is banking on Russ and Justin Fields stinking this year. Then we on from DV Productions, a Gold Club member here, says, Steelers, Jack, how much money do you think we will pay Aiyuk when he gets here? Do you think he will take a discount to play for us? I heard from a source today of the number that they're thinking of paying him, and it's north of $30 million. It sounds like the Steelers want to make him their bona fide number one wide receiver for the next 4 years. Now, you might be saying, Jack, what about George Pickens? But it seems like they really believe in Aiyuk, and for good reason. He is a perfect fit for Arthur Smith's offense. Outside of this contract situation, he really hasn't had many big diva moments. He's been pretty well behaved, and he's an excellent route runner, great run blocker. He's kind of like Deontay Johnson on steroids. He does everything that Deontay Johnson did, only better. So I think that he's a perfect fit for this team, and I think they're willing to pay up for it. Then we get to Anthony Fuller here, $10 super chat, says, #Steelers, what would Justin Fields have to do in order to show Coach T he should be the start of this season? So, Anthony, I think it's twofold, okay? There's a part that Justin can control, and that's playing as well as he can in camp. And he's doing that part right now. He's looking good. But the other part of it, because Russell Wilson is the veteran in the room, because he's in pole position, because the Steelers picked him over Justin Fields initially in the offseason, he's going to have to lose the job. So not only does Justin Fields need to earn it, but Russell Wilson has to show why he shouldn't have that job week 1. So it's going to be difficult for that second part. I think Justin Fields is doing enough to show that he is a NFL starting quarterback. But if Russell Wilson also looks like a good starting quarterback, they're going to go with the vet. So that's where the Steelers are at right now. It's kind of up to Russell Wilson. If he plays well, he'll be QB1. And if he doesn't, I think Justin Fields takes the job. Now, before we get to the rest of the questions here, I got a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics. If you believe in Justin Fields, think he's the long-term future of this football team, put your money where your mouth is right now, man, and get a number 2 Justin Fields Steelers jersey by going to chatsports.com/Fields. To pick up your Justin Fields jersey today. Also, if you use that link, chatsports.com/Fields, and you make a purchase, Fanatics is going to send us part of the proceeds, and that money goes towards making more Steelers content for you guys for free here on YouTube. So greatly appreciate all of your support. And with that, let's get back to the questions here. This one's from Evil Hamster 07 Productions. That's a crazy name, man. It says, hey, Jack, would you give up a 2nd, 4th, and Roman Wilson for Aiyuk? I'm not giving up Roman Wilson. I'm giving up a 2nd, a 4th, and Calvin Austin or Van Jefferson. I think that's probably what I would do. This is actually my best guess as to what the thing would look like. Now, there's reports out there that the 49ers are looking to use the picks that the Steelers have offered them to try to land another receiver this year, which is interesting. So I guess we'll see how it all works out here. But if it's just a straight-up trade between these two teams, I think it's a 2nd, a 4th, and Calvin Austin the 3rd. Then we got one from Clarky. It says, how does the Aiyuk trade affect Pickens' contract? Pickens deserves a nice contract as well. He absolutely does. His contract doesn't come up for a little bit here. So I think that's what the Steelers are thinking. They're thinking, all right, we get Aiyuk in here now. We get both of these guys in the building for at least 2 seasons. And then if Pickens is worth a big contract, they will give him a big contract. They will. It's not unheard of to have 2 guys with big contracts at the wide receiver position in the NFL. At this rate, $30+ million, it would be quite a pretty penny to have 2 guys on your roster with that kind of money. But I think that right now, this is a team in the Steelers that's thinking short term. They want to try to win now, and getting a guy like Aiyuk and then paying him definitely helps them try to do that right now. So get us started right now, guys. Is Aiyuk worth $30 million a year? Simply give me a yes or no down there in the comments section. It sounds like that's probably what the Steelers would give him, if not even more than that, if a trade ended up going through. So give me a yes or no. Is Aiyuk worth the $30 million he's asking for? Then we got one from Omar's Burner here. He says, what if the third team is the Raiders and the White? No, this Omar, this isn't going to be the case, because if the Raiders even think about giving up Davante Adams, which they're not, they're going to want Brandon Aiyuk. And if Ayuk's on the Steelers, he can't go to the Raiders. So this is just this isn't going to happen. It's an interesting idea, I guess, but I really don't think Davante Adams is getting traded. Then we got one from Jacob Wizerak, a Gold Club member. What's up, Jacob? Says, what do y'all think about the chances are for the O-line starters to be Jones, Sayamalo, Frazier, Daniels, Fahutano by week 1? I think it's about 90%. The initial depth chart right now shows Dan Moore Jr. at left tackle and Broderick on the right. Fahutano's been practicing a lot on the right side this week. He's getting all the first-team reps, so it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Hopefully Broderick will be fully healthy for the season. He's not fully healthy now. He's wearing a big elbow brace. He's struggling because it's hurting him right now. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see what the offensive line shapes up to be. I wouldn't quite put it at 90%, but it's definitely a possibility. Then we got one from Vibin with the Dogs. Says, watch out for Alec Pierce from the Colts. Interesting. Alec Pierce is definitely a name I could see, Coop, because they did add Adonai Mitchell. They do have Michael Pittman Jr., but Josh Downs just came down with an ankle sprain, so maybe they want to keep Alec Pierce now. It's going to be a Shanahan guy, right? Shanahan is going to have to sign off on the receiver that they end up acquiring in this trade, whatever the trade is, to get a different receiver. But it's definitely going to be an interesting situation, definitely an interesting name there. And then he goes, hey, Key, says, where does the Steelers rank in the AFC North and the AFC as a whole when we get Aiyuk? I think if you get Aiyuk, call me crazy, Coop, I think we're winning the division if they get Aiyuk.
Winning the AFC, baby.
Might win the AFC. Russell Wilson is one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. He led the league last year in fourth quarter comebacks, so it's not like he's lost that ability. He's gone to 2 Super Bowls with a similar kind of team structure, good defense, bruising run game, good enough weapons around him. Honestly, you can make an argument that this Steelers team is better than some of those Seattle teams that he had success with. All right, so I think that if you get Aiyuk, this is a legitimate Super Bowl contender if Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is even a decent quarterback. That's where I'm at right now. All right, that'll be it for today's mailbag, guys. Appreciate all the support. Make sure you click that subscribe button right now because we got a bunch of great Steelers content coming your way all throughout the 2024 season.